Dear students, I welcome you all to watch this video. In my last video, we have discussed about accounting equation, which says that the assets equals liabilities plus capital, or put it in other words, assets of the business are always equal to liabilities and capital. And even we have taken one example to analyze that accounting equation, isn't it? Before that we have used some examples to find out the missing figures, and later we discussed some transactions and their effect on accounting equation. And we have seen that at any point of time the assets of the business are always equal to the liabilities plus capital, and every transaction involves two aspects, and one aspect is represented by the assets of the business and the other aspect is represented by liabilities and capital. Means other aspect is represented by claim over those assets. The claim over those assets, that is represented by liabilities and capital. And today let me take up 2-3 examples so that the accounting equation concept would be more clear. Okay, first note down the problem. Analyze the effect of the transaction on assets and liabilities and show that both the sides of accounting equation are equal. 3 transactions I will take in this particular example. So first one is Mahesh commenced business with cash rupees 1 lakh. Mahesh commenced business with cash rupees 1 lakh. Note it down. Second one, deposited cash into bank rupees 15,000. Deposited cash into bank rupees 15,000. And third one is purchased goods for cash rupees 25,000. Now let me prove that the assets of the business are always equal to claim over those assets, or in other words, assets equals liabilities plus capital. That is the fundamental equation of accounting, isn't it? So now let me start. Take the first transaction, that is Mahesh commenced business with cash rupees 1 lakh. ಮಹೇಶ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 1 lakh rupees ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. We have to prove that his assets are equal to liabilities plus capital. That is the fundamental accounting equation. What it says? Assets equals liabilities plus capital. Now what are the assets here? When Mahesh commences business with cash rupees 1 lakh, he brings in cash. Cash is an asset. So what is the asset here? Cash is an asset. How much it is? Rupees 1 lakh. And this cash is brought in by Mahesh. Who is Mahesh? Mahesh is the owner. Amount brought in by the owner to start the business is called capital, isn't it? So capital 1 lakh. Assets 1 lakh. Capital 1 lakh. Simple. Because of this transaction, there is no change in accounting equation. What accounting equation says? In fact, this is the first transaction, isn't it? This is the first transaction. Assets equals liabilities plus capital. No outside liability here. So only capital 1 lakh, cash 1 lakh. Both the sides are equal, isn't it? Clear? Clear ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. Now this is the existing position. Cash 1 lakh, capital 1 lakh. Both the sides are equal, isn't it? Now let us take the second example, second transaction. What is that second transaction? Look there. Deposited cash into bank rupees 15,000. deposited cash into bank rupees 15,000. Again we have to prove that assets of the business are always equal to liabilities plus capital. Write the equation. Assets equals liabilities plus capital. Now first write the existing position. What is the existing position? We have cash rupees 1 lakh and no other assets, and other side capital rupees 1 lakh. This is the existing situation. Now what happens? He deposited cash into bank rupees 15,000. He deposited cash into bank rupees 15,000. See, cash how much? 1 lakh. From 1 lakh he takes 15,000. He takes 15,000. What he does with that 15,000? He deposits that cash into bank. He deposits that cash into bank. Bank is also, cash at bank is also is an asset. One asset reduces here. I have written 15,000 in bracket. What it indicates? It indicates that cash is reduced by rupees 15,000. But where that cash has been spent? That cash has been deposited into bank. So here 15,000 reduces in cash balance, but the same is deposited into bank. Look here. But no other changes in capital or no changes on the other side, that is liability side. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ 1 lakh ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಇತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಆ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 15,000 ಅನ್ನು ಅವನೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಮಹೇಶ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ comes down here by rupees 15,000, but bank balance increases by rupees 15,000. Or earlier there was no bank balance was not there because he has just started, bank balance was not there. Now he has opened bank account, so he kept rupees 15,000 in bank. He kept rupees 15,000 in bank. And now let's see the effect of this transaction. What is the effect? This is the happening of this event. What happened here? He deposited, taken cash here and deposited into bank. Here 15,000 comes. This is the event or happening. Now what is the effect of this event? Cash earlier it was 1 lakh. Now 15,000 is taken from that cash box and deposited into bank. So cash balance now reduces by rupees 15,000. So from 1 lakh it has been reduced to 15,000. Cash balance reduced to rupees 15,000. Whereas bank balance, bank account is opened now, so bank balance rupees 15,000. 85,000 rupees cash, 15,000 rupees bank balance. So no change in the liability side. No change in the liability side. Now total, both the sides are equal. You see that 85,000 plus 15,000. How much it comes to? 1 lakh. Liability side no change. Capital rupees 1 lakh. 1 lakh. At the start, cash 1 lakh. Capital 1 lakh. At the end, means after the happening of this event, what happened? Cash balance 85,000 reduced by 15,000. But another asset increases. One asset decreases, but at the same time, another asset increases. So total assets 1 lakh, total liabilities 1 lakh. This is how accounting equation is to be proved. At any point of time, the assets of the business are always equal to liabilities plus capital. Liabilities plus capital. Remember this. Now let me take the third transaction. What it says? Purchased goods for cash rupees 25,000. Purchased goods for cash rupees 25,000. What happens here? He pays 25,000 rupees cash and purchases goods worth rupees 25,000. Before going to analyze this event, let us first write the accounting equation at the existing position. What is the accounting equation? Assets equals liabilities plus capital. What is the existing position? Cash balance. Look at the last portion of the previous transaction. Analysis of previous transaction. Okay. Cash balance how much? It was 85,000. Cash balance was 85,000. And bank balance, how much? 15,000. Bank balance 15,000. Cash balance 85,000 and bank balance 15,000. And capital 1 lakh. This is the existing position. ಈ ಒಂದು ಈವೆಂಟ್ ಆಗೋ ಪೂರ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಇತ್ತು? ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಅಥವಾ ಮಹೇಶ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, ಮಹೇಶನ ವ್ಯವಹಾರದ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಹೇಗಿತ್ತು? ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ 85,000 rupees ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ 15,000 rupees ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. 85,000 rupees ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು ಮತ್ತು 15,000 ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಅವ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ತಂದಿದ್ದೆಷ್ಟು? 1 lakh. ಎರಡು ಕಡೆ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗೋ ಪೂರ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಹೀಗಿತ್ತು ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಈಗ ಏನಾಯಿತು? ಹಿ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ಡ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ₹25,000. ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ? 25,000 rupees ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಕ್ಯಾಶನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಗೂಡ್ಸನ್ನು ಖರೀದಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ cash balance reduces by 25,000 rupees because from the cash counter he has 85,000 and from that 85,000 he takes 25,000 rupees. What for? To pay for purchase of goods. To pay for purchase of goods. So first write 25,000 into bracket. It means that 25,000 rupees should be reduced. 25,000 rupees should be reduced because he pays cash. What for he pays cash? He pays cash to purchase. Purchase what? Purchase, you see there, purchased goods. To purchase goods. Goods is an asset. We may write here goods or inventory. Okay? And generally nowadays the term inventory is used here. Goods, you may write goods or even purchases you may write. And inventory you may use, or even stock. The term stock may be used. Better you use inventory. Okay? 25,000 rupees taken from the cash box, but what for? To pay for purchase of goods. Purchase of goods. So one asset reduces, cash reduces, but other asset comes. Inventory is also goods, isn't it? Inventory is also goods. Sorry, inventory is also an asset. So one asset reduces and the other asset comes. Other asset comes. So no effect on the other side. On the liabilities and capital side, no change. Okay? Now find the effect. This is the happening or the event. ಏನು ಇವೆಂಟ್ ಆಯಿತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಕೌಂಟ್ರಿಂದ 25,000 ಅನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಖರೀದಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತು ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ now let's see the effect. 85,000 was the cash before this transaction. Now 25,000 is paid, so the remaining amount is 60,000, isn't it? 85,000 minus 25,000, how much it is? 60,000. Then 15,000 in the bank, no change. Write the same amount. 85,000 minus 25,000, 60,000. And 15,000 here, no change at all. Write 15,000 only. And inventory, a new asset, that is 25,000. And on the liabilities and capital side, there is no change at all. There is no change at all. 1 lakh. Now total both the sides. Asset side total how much? 1 lakh. And liabilities side total 1 lakh. 1 lakh equals 1 lakh. Assets of the business equals liabilities plus capital. It is proved, you know. This is how we have to prove accounting equation. Analyze the transaction and prove that accounting equation is correct. And at any point of time, assets of the business equals liabilities plus capital. I hope you got it. Very interesting, you know. Let me take another example. Okay, 2-3 examples let me discuss today. Note down again. Prepare accounting equation on the basis of following. First one is Harsha started business with cash ₹2 lakhs. The first transaction is same. ಹಿಂದಿನ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದೇವೋ ಅದನ್ನೇ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ಡ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಾಮ್ ನಮನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್. Purchased goods from Naman for cash. How much? 40,000. Next, number 3, sold goods to Banu costing rupees 10,000 for rupees 12,000. Sold goods to Banu costing rupees 10,000 for rupees 12,000. And the fourth one is bought furniture from Vaibhav on credit 7,000. Bought furniture from Vaibhav on credit rupees 7,000. So let us analyze these four transactions and prove that accounting equation is correct. Okay, shall we start? Start with the first transaction, that is Harsha started business with cash rupees 2 lakhs. Harsha started business with cash rupees 2 lakhs. This you can very easily do in a first write the accounting equation. What is that? Assets of the business equals liabilities plus capital. Harsha started business with cash means what is the asset here? Cash is the asset. So cash how much? 2 lakh. It equals capital. Amount brought in by the proprietor or owner into the business is called capital. Capital is how much? 2 lakh. So both the sides are equal. Write quickly. Cash 2 lakhs. Asset side 2 lakhs. Liability side 2 lakhs. 2 lakhs equals 2 lakhs. No difficulty at all. Go to the second transaction. Purchased goods from Naman for cash. Purchased goods from Naman for cash. Rupees 40,000. What he does here, Harsha? Harsha purchases goods from Naman for cash. What is the effect of the transaction? Before going to analyze the effect, first we have to write the existing position. So write the accounting equation first. Assets of the business or assets equals liabilities plus capital. What are the assets here? Existing assets. Cash how much? 2 lakh. Cash 2 lakhs. Then no other assets. Liability side capital 2 lakhs. This is the existing situation or existing position, isn't it? Cash 2 lakh, capital 2 lakh. Now purchased goods from Naman for cash rupees 40,000 means Harsha uses 40,000 or he pays 40,000 to whom? To Naman. What for? For purchase of goods. Again he purchases goods. Naman purchases goods and pays 40,000 rupees. Pays 40,000 rupees. How much he has cash? 2 lakh. Of the 2 lakh, he has used 40,000 rupees to purchase goods. So you write goods or inventory here. One asset reduces, a new asset comes. What is that new asset? New asset is inventory. New asset is inventory here or goods. So 40,000 is paid or he makes payment of rupees 40,000 to Naman. What for? For purchase of inventory. So cash reduces by 40,000 and new asset comes in the form of inventory 40,000, isn't it? I hope you are getting it. ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. 2 ಲಕ್ಷ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಇತ್ತಲ್ವ, ಆ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 40,000 ಅನ್ನ ಅವನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ? ನಮನ್ ಅನ್ನುವನಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಯಾಕಾಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ? ಇನ್ವೆಂಟರಿ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ. ನಮನ್ ಇವನಿಗೆ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಇವನೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ? ಹರ್ಷ ನಮನ್ನಿಗೆ 40,000 rupees ಅನ್ನ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಒನ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಅದರ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ and no other change in the liability side. No change in the liability side. Now let's see the effect. Earlier it was 2 lakh rupees. Now 40,000 spent for purchase of goods. How much remaining cash? It is 1,60,000 ಅಲ್ವಾ? 2 lakh ಇತ್ತು, 40,000 ಅನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಉಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆಷ್ಟು? 1,60,000. Then new asset 40,000, that is inventory. 1,60,000 cash, new asset inventory 40,000 and no change on the liability side. So it remains 2 lakh. Thus accounting equation is correct here, or both the sides of accounting equation tallies. Assets equals rupees 2 lakh and liabilities equals rupees 2 lakh, isn't it? 1,60,000 plus 40,000 comes to 2 lakhs. Here no change, 2 lakhs, isn't it? Let me go to the next transaction, that is sold goods to Banu costing rupees 10,000 for rupees 12,000 on credit. See here, sold goods to Banu for rupees 12,000 on credit, but the cost of that goods was rupees 10,000. This is very interesting transaction, and before going to analyze this transaction, let me write first the accounting equation. What it says? Accounting equation, again, assets equals liabilities plus capital. What are the assets at the beginning now? Cash. How much cash? 1,60,000 alwa. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆದ ನಂತರ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ, 1,60,000, 2 lakh was there, 40,000 was paid for purchase of goods, so 1,60,000 remaining. That is the starting point for this transaction. Okay, ಆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂಡ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಯಾವ್ದಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಇಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇವೆಂಟ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ಏನು ಇಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೋಡಿದೇವಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. 2 lakhs ಇತ್ತು, 40,000 ಅನ್ನ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು 1,60,000 ಬಂತಲ್ವಲ್ಲಿ, ಆ 1,60,000 ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 1,60,000 ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇನ್ವೆಂಟರಿ ವಾಸ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್, 40,000. ಸೊ ರೈಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ 1,60,000 ಪ್ಲಸ್ 40,000, 1,60,000 ಪ್ಲಸ್ 40,000. ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಇಟ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಟು? ಇಟ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಟು 2 lakh rupees. Capital 2 lakh, 1,60,000, 40,000, 2 lakh. This is the existing position, or this is the position before the happening of transaction number 3. Now let us analyze what the transaction number 3 says. Sold goods to Banu costing rupees 10,000 for rupees 12,000 on credit. Two things should be noticed here. Harsha sold goods to Banu on credit. When he sells goods to Banu on credit, Banu becomes our debtor, isn't it? Banu becomes our debtor. You know, a debtor is a person who owes money to the business, and before that, you know, transaction may be cash transaction or credit transaction, isn't it? Cash transaction is one where the value of the transaction is settled immediately, and credit transaction is one where the value of transaction will be settled in future. The value is not settled immediately, but it will be settled in future. Here the same thing happens, you know. Sold goods to Banu, ಬಾನುಗೆ ಸರಕುಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಸರಕನ್ನು ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ? 10,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಸರಕನ್ನ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸರಕನ್ನ 12,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿಗೆ ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ an example for credit transaction. A credit transaction is one where the value of transaction will be settled in future. ತಕ್ಷಣ ಹಣವನ್ನು ಕೊಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಾನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ನಾನು 12,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿಗೆ ಸರಕುಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ತೇನೆ ಇವತ್ತು, ಆದರೆ ಹಣವನ್ನು ಇವತ್ತು ಕೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ನನಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿವಸ ಸಮಯ ಅವಕಾಶ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಹರ್ಷ ಓಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಅಂತ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ? ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. The value of the transaction will be settled in future. If it is settled immediately, it is called cash transaction. When the value will be settled in future, it is called credit transaction. So now let's see the effect. What happens? Sold goods to Banu for rupees 12,000 on credit. What happens? Cash is affected? No, cash is not at all affected. Inventory reduces by rupees 10,000, isn't it? Inventory 40,000 was there, and now of the 40,000 rupees goods, Harsha sells goods worth rupees 10,000 to whom? To Banu, but cash is not received. Banu says he will pay later. When he says he will pay the amount later, he becomes our debtor. You know, debtor is a person who is supposed to pay the money to the business, or debtor is a person who owes money to the business. ಯಾವ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ವ್ಯವಹಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಹಣ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆಯೋ ಆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ? ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾಷೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದು? ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್. ಯು ನೋ, isn't it? Accounting is a language of business. So Banu becomes debtor. As Harsha sells goods to Banu, Banu becomes debtor. ನಾವೇ ಹರ್ಷ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ, ಓಕೆನಾ? ಹರ್ಷ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಬಾನು ಅನ್ನುವನಿಗೆ ಸರಕುಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಸರಕನ್ನು ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ? 10,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿಗಳ ಸರಕನ್ನು ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಬಾನು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾನೆ? ಡೆಟರ್. ಡೆಟರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಹೂ ವಾಸ್ ಮನಿ ಟು ದ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್, ಆರ್ ಹಿ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಹೂಮ್ ದ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಟು ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮನಿ. ಯಾರಿಂದ ವ್ಯವಹಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಹಣ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆಯೋ ಅವರನ್ನ ನಾವೇನು ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬಹುದು? ಡೆಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಡೆಟರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ assets here. So inventory reduces, I have put it in bracket, and another asset comes, new asset here. What is that new asset? Debtors. So I have written here plus debtors. How much? Look here, again very interesting. Inventory reduces by rupees 10,000, but debtors how much? Debtors 12,000 rupees. This is how it happens. 10,000 rupees goods sold for rupees 12,000. 10,000 rupees goods sold for rupees 12,000. So inventory reduces by rupees 10,000. Debtors increases, or new debtors comes. How much amount? 12,000 rupees. 12,000 rupees. Then what about 2,000 rupees? 10,000 rupees inventory reduced and debtors 12,000 rupees. What is the difference? Difference is 2,000. You know that what is that 2,000? ನಾವು ಬಾನು ಎನ್ನುವನಿಗೆ 10,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಸರಕುಗಳನ್ನು 12,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿಗೆ ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? 10,000 rupees goods sold for rupees 12,000. Look there. What happens then? What about 2,000 rupees? 2,000 rupees is the profit, isn't it? 2,000 rupees is the profit. Revenue minus cost equals profit. Here 10,000 is the cost of the goods. We have sold it for rupees 12,000. So 2,000 is, obviously the profit. And that profit belongs to whom? Profit belongs to the owner. So it should be added to capital. This is how transaction is to be analyzed. Sold goods to Banu worth rupees 10,000 for rupees 12,000 on credit. So inventory reduces by rupees 10,000. Debtors, new entry to the assets, that is 12,000 rupees. 2,000 rupees difference is profit, and that profit should be added to the capital, isn't it? Now let us analyze the effect. Is there any change in cash? No change in cash. Alva? Cash 1,60,000 ittu ashte iratte. Then inventory how much? Earlier it was 40,000. Now it becomes 30,000. Earlier the value of inventory was 40,000 before this transaction. Now as inventory worth rupees 10,000 was sold for rupees 12,000, inventory reduced by rupees 10,000. So remaining inventory how much? 30,000. Debtors, new entry here 12,000 rupees. And capital, earlier it was 2 lakh. Now 2,000 profit. 2,000 profit because of sale, that is added to the capital. 2 lakh 2,000. Now find the total. Draw one line and find the total. How much it is? 2 lakh 2,000, isn't it? I hope it is clear. Very interesting. 2 lakh 2,000 both the sides. Okay. Let me move on to see the next transaction, that is fourth one. Bought goods from Vaibhav on credit rupees 7,000. Assets equals liabilities plus capital. Write the existing position here. Cash 1,60,000, inventory 30,000, and debtors 12,000. And debtors 12,000. And on the liability side we have capital 2,02,000. And here this is a credit transaction again, because we have bought furniture from Vaibhav on credit. We have bought furniture from Vaibhav on credit. So Vaibhav becomes our creditor. In the last transaction Banu was our debtor, but here Vaibhav is our creditor. When the business owes money to the outsiders, such persons are called creditors. It's a liability. When business owes money to the outsiders, it's a liability to the business, and such persons are called creditors. Or creditor is a person to whom the business owes money. ಯಾರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇಂದ ಹಣ ಪಾವತಿ ಆಗಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆಯೋ, ಆಗುವುದು ಬಾಕಿ ಆಗಿದೆಯೋ ಅಂಥವರನ್ನು ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ, ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ furniture purchase, every transaction involves two aspects. One is represented by assets. Here furniture purchased, it's an asset. So write furniture here. How much? 7,000. Furniture, new asset comes here, 7,000. And Vaibhav is our creditor. It affects the liabilities of the business. Vaibhav is our creditor. So write 7,000 on the liabilities side. Okay, write 7,000 on the liabilities side. Now analyze the effect. This is the happening. Furniture purchased worth rupees 7,000 from Vaibhav. Vaibhav represents creditor. So on the liability side you write 7,000. I hope it is clear. No room for confusion. Furniture purchased is an asset. You have written here, and amount 7,000. But it is purchased on credit. So no change in cash balance. And creditors, Vaibhav is our creditor, so write 7,000 on the liability side. Now analyze the effect. No change in cash, 1,60,000. No change in inventory, 30,000. Debtors, no change, 12,000. Furniture, new asset, 7,000. Creditors on the liability side, 7,000. Capital, 2,02,000. Creditors, liability. Now draw a line and find the total. See that both the sides are equal. How much it is? 1,60,000 plus 30,000 plus 12,000 plus 7,000. How much? 2,09,000. Here 2,09,000. This is how both the sides of accounting equation are equal. I hope it's very clear. You want one more? I suppose it's better to take one more example. Okay, take quickly. Prepare accounting equation on the basis of the following. First one, Sachin started business with cash rupees 1,75,000. Then purchased goods from Rohit on credit rupees 50,000. Purchased goods from Rohit on credit rupees 50,000. Next, number 3, sold goods to Manish costing rupees 17,500 for rupees 20,000. Next, cash paid to Rohit in full settlement rupees 48,500. And last one, cash withdrawn for personal use rupees 3,000. Okay, this is the transactions. These are the transactions. Now let us prove that accounting equation after the happening of all the transactions is equal. Okay, as usual, take the first transaction. Sachin started business with cash. This is common now, rupees 1,75,000. You can solve on your own quickly. Okay, write the equation. Assets equals liabilities plus capital. What is the asset here? Cash. He started business with 1,75,000 rupees. Capital 1,75,000. Very simple. So first transaction, very easily you can draw the accounting equation or prepare the accounting equation, isn't it? 1,75,000 equals 1,75,000. No difficulty at all. Let me move on to see the second transaction. What is that second transaction? Purchased goods from Rohit rupees 50,000. Purchased goods from Rohit rupees 50,000. Again write the accounting equation. You know the steps. Assets equals liabilities plus capital. I can go fast, it seems. Cash, how much? 1,75,000. No other asset at the starting point. Capital 1,75,000. Now look at the transaction. Purchased goods from Rohit rupees 50,000. Purchased goods from Rohit rupees 50,000. what is to be done? Purchased goods from Rohit rupees 50,000 means new asset comes here. What is that new asset? New asset is obviously the inventory or the goods. New asset is the inventory or goods. What about the other aspect? One aspect is goods here. Purchased goods from Rohit rupees 50,000. But nothing is mentioned whether it is purchased for cash or purchased on credit. Isn't it? In the last example or the other example, there was one transaction, purchased goods from Naman for cash, isn't it? But here nothing is mentioned whether it is purchased for cash or whether it is purchased on credit. No information is given in the problem. Then how to treat it? Purchased goods from Rohit rupees 50,000. In the absence of information about the cash purchase or credit purchase, but the name of the supplier is given, then we have to treat it as credit purchase. Okay, remember, when the name of the supplier is given and nothing is mentioned about payment of cash or nothing is mentioned about cash purchases, then we have to treat it as credit purchase. And when simply nothing is mentioned about cash or credit and no name is given, then we have to treat it as cash purchases. Simply if they give purchased goods for rupees 50,000, then we have to treat it as cash purchases. But when they have given purchased goods from Rohit, whether it is for cash or on credit, not given, then we have to treat it as credit purchase. Always remember, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೇಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸಪ್ಲೈಯರ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದು ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸಾ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳದೇ ಇರುವಾಗ ನಾವೇನು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊತೀವಿ, ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ಡ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ rupees 50,000 ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳದೇ ಇರುವಾಗ ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಬೇಕು ನಾವೀಗ? purchased goods from Rohit rupees 50,000 means it is credit purchase. One aspect here, goods comes into the business, that is in the form of asset comes into the business in the form of goods or inventory. How much it is? Inventory purchased rupees 50,000. Inventory purchased rupees 50,000. Whether it affects cash? No, it is a credit transaction. It is purchased from Rohit. It is purchased from Rohit, so it is credit transaction. Okay, it's purchased from Rohit, so it is credit transaction. So Rohit becomes our creditor because we are supposed to pay 50,000 rupees to Rohit. ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಅವನ ಹತ್ರ ಸರಕನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ 50,000 rupees ಅನ್ನ, ಹಣವನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿವಸ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೊಡ್ತೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಹಿ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್. ನಾವು ಕೊಡೋದು ಬಾಕಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನದು? ಆಸ್ತಿನ, ಹೊಣೆಗಾರಿಕೆನ? ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಫಾರ್ ಅಸ್. ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಅಸ್ ಟು ದ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡರ್ or amount owed by the business to the outsiders is called a liability. So here we are supposed to pay 50,000 rupees to Rohit. It is pending, so it is a liability. So here other aspect affected is liability, that is in the form of creditors. Rohit, Rohit is our creditor. So how much amount? Amount is 50,000. This is the event. See, inventory comes in rupees 50,000, and as we are not paid the amount, Rohit becomes our creditor, so it's a liability. 50,000 on the liability side, 50,000 on the asset side and 50,000 on the liability side. Now let's see the effect. Cash how much? No change in cash, 1,75,000. Inventory, a new asset comes, 50,000. And on the liability side, a liability comes, that is 50,000 in the form of creditors, and capital remains same, 1,75,000. Now find the total. Draw one line and find the total. How much it is? Asset side 1,75,000 plus, look here, 1,75,000 plus 50,000, 2,25,000. So on the liability side 50,000 plus 1,75,000, 2,25,000. Okay, next Let me move on to see the third transaction very quickly. What is that third transaction? Sold goods to Manish costing rupees 17,500 for rupees 20,000. Sold goods to Manish costing rupees 17,500 for rupees 20,000. What type of transaction it is? Already we have seen it in the previous example, isn't it? Sold goods to Banu was there. Here sold goods to Manish. So first write the accounting equation quickly. Assets equals liabilities plus capital. Assets equals liabilities plus capital. What are the assets? Cash, how much? 1,75,000. Inventory, how much? 50,000, isn't it? Next, creditors, 50,000. Capital, 1,75,000. This is the present position or position before the happening of this particular event. Sold goods to Manish for rupees 20,000. Now what happens? Let us see. Sold goods to Manish costing rupees 17,500 means from the goods 50,000 we are going to give 17,500 to Manish, isn't it? Write that. Write it in bracket means 17,500 goods is to be reduced here because we give that 17,500 goods to Manish, isn't it? Now Manish becomes our debtor because here again see sold goods to Manish for rupees 20,000, whether it is for cash or credit not given, but name of the buyer is given. Again remember, when the name of the buyer is given and nothing is mentioned about cash or credit, we assume that goods are sold on credit. When the name of the buyer is not given, name of the buyer is given, but whether the goods are sold for cash or on credit is not given in the problem, we assume that as the name of the buyer is given, it is a credit transaction. It is a credit transaction, means Manish is supposed to pay the amount in future. He has not paid the amount now, but he will pay it in future. Such transactions are called credit transactions, So inventory reduces by 17,500. See there, you have to write it in bracket. Coloring not required, but I have highlighted it here. So just write it in bracket. Next, inventory reduces by 17,500 and in place a new asset comes, that is in the form of debtor. Manish becomes our debtor, So how much? He becomes our debtor for rupees 20,000. We have sold goods worth rupees 17,500 for rupees 20,000. 17,500 goods ಅನ್ನ 20,000 ಗೆ ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. 20,000 ಗೆ ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಏನಾಯಿತು? We got a profit of rupees 2,500, isn't it? 17,500 rupees cost of the goods. We are supposed to get 20,000 rupees. So how much? Difference 2,500 is profit to the business. And the same should be added to the capital. It comes on the liability side. So plus 2,500. You see here, goods worth rupees 17,500 is sold for rupees 20,000. So 2,500 rupees profit. Profit will be added to capital. This is the event. Now let's see the effect. Cash 1,75,000. Inventory 32,500. How? Earlier it was 50,000. See there, 50,000. 17,500 goods sold to Manish. Remaining goods how much? 32,500. And debtors how much? 20,000. And on the liability side, creditors 50,000 and capital, earlier it was 1,75,000. Now 2,500 profit is added, so it is 1,77,500. This is how accounting equation is to be prepared. Now find the total. Draw one line and find the total, both the sides. 1,75,000 plus 32,500 plus 20,000. How much it comes to? It comes to 2,27,500. 2,27,500. Isn't it? Just check it. Okay. Now let me move on to see the next transaction, that is cash paid to Rohit in full settlement rupees 48,500. Again this is a new term, isn't it? Cash paid to Rohit in full settlement rupees 48,500. Before analyzing the transaction, let us write the equation first. Assets equals liabilities plus capital. Existing position, you write cash 1,75,000, inventory 32,500. You see, earlier it was 50,000 in the last transaction. Goods worth rupees 17,500 is sold to Manish, so now it is 32,500. And debtors, how much? 20,000. And creditors 50,000. Liabilities in that, creditors 50,000, and capital 1,77,500. This is the existing position. Is there any doubt? No doubt, isn't it? Now analyze it. Cash paid to Rohit in full settlement of rupees 48,500. Rohit is our creditor, because we have purchased goods from Rohit on credit. In the second transaction we have seen, isn't it? Purchased goods from Rohit on credit 50,000, isn't it? So we have shown here creditors rupees 50,000. Now we are paying rupees 48,500 to Rohit in full settlement. ನಾವು ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ವಿ ರೋಹಿತ್ನಿಗೆ. ಅವನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ದೆ? ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಟು ಪೇ ಟು ರೋಹಿತ್? 50,000 we are supposed to pay. But how much we paid? When we pay 48,500, Rohit said stop it, because only 48,500 is sufficient for me. In place of 50,000, 48,500 is sufficient. ಅವನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ದ? 48,500 ಸಾಕು, ನನಗೆ 50,000 ಕೊಡಬೇಕಿತ್ತಲ್ವ ನೀವು, 48,500 ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ದ. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅದು? 2,500 becomes discount received. 2,500 is discount received. This is called cash discount. When creditor makes a deduction in the amount, it's called cash discount. A discount ಬಂದಿದ್ದೇನು ನಮಗೆ? It is a gain for us. It is a gain for us. So we have to consider that gain. Then how to write here the event? Cash paid to Rohit. So earlier 1,75,000 was there cash balance. Now cash balance reduces by rupees 48,500. Cash balance reduces by 48,500. Write it in bracket. ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ 48,500 amount paid to Rohit. Creditor means here who? Rohit. 48,500 is paid to him. But what he says, I will consider it as 50,000 rupees. Means ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡೆಟ್ಟನ್ನು ನಾನು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತೇನೆ. 48,500 ಕೊಟ್ಟ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಸಾಕು, ನೀವು ಮತ್ತೆ ಹಣ ಕೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. 50,000 ಕೊಡಬೇಕಿತ್ತಲ್ವ, 50,000 ಬಂತು ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ we write here 50,000. How? We are supposed to pay 50,000 to Rohit. We paid 48,500, but he gives a discount of rupees 2,500. So total comes to 50,000. And 1,500. He gives a discount of rupees 1,500, and 1,500 is gain to us, and that gain goes to whom? That gain goes to the business, that is the owner. That is, it should be added to capital. How much gain? 1,500. How 1,500? ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂತು ಇದು? ನಾವು 50,000 ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ರೋಹಿತ್ನಿಗೆ. 48,500 ಕೊಟ್ಟ ತಕ್ಷಣನೇ ಅವನೇನು ಮಾಡ್ದ? ನಿಮಗೆ 1,500 ಏನು ಡಿಸ್ಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ದ. 1,500 ಡಿಸ್ಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ದ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಗೇನ್ ಟು ದ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಆಡೆಡ್ ಟು capital. Clear? Now find the effect. 1,75,000 minus 48,500. 1,75,000 minus 48,500. comes to 1,26,500. You see there, 1,26,500. Inventory, no change. Debtors, no change. Creditors, 0, because we are supposed to pay 50,000 rupees to Rohit, but we paid 48,500, but he closed the account 50,000 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೊಡೋದಿದೆಯಾ ರೋಹಿತ್ನಿಗೆ ಸಾಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ ನಂತರ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ 0 ಇಯರ್. And capital, earlier it was 1,77,500. now 1,500 has been added, it comes to 1,79,000, isn't it? Now draw a line and find the total. Total how much? 1,79,000, both the sides. Okay, clear? Very interesting, isn't it? Now let me take the last transaction, that is cash withdrawn for personal use, rupees 3,000. Cash withdrawn for personal use rupees 3,000. Cash withdrawn for personal use is called drawings. Cash withdrawn for personal use is called drawings. Now let me write the equation first. So write it quickly. Assets equals liabilities plus capital. Assets, what are the assets? Cash, how much? 1,26,500. Then inventory, 32,500. Then debtors, 20,000. Okay, this is the existing position. Then on the liability side we have capital 1,79,000. No creditors because we have paid it. No creditors, 1,79,000. This is the situation. Now let's see. Cash withdrawn for personal use rupees 3,000. 1,26,500 cash we have, but now owner withdrawn rupees 3,000 for personal use. Withdrawn rupees 3,000 for personal use. And where from it should be reduced? It should be reduced from cash, and again it should be reduced from capital, isn't it? So 3,000 reduced here. 3,000 on the asset side reduced because cash is withdrawn, and capital is also reduced. Now find the effect. No other changes. Here 1,23,500, 26,500 minus 3,000, 1,23,500. Next 32,500 inventory, no change. Debtors 20,000, no change. Creditors nil. Then capital 1,79,000 minus 3,000 comes to 1,76,000. Now find the total. How much it comes to? It comes to 1,76,000, both the sides. Check it. Okay, 1,23,500 plus 32,500 plus 20,000, 1,76,000, and here 1,76,000. Both the sides are equal. This is how accounting equation is to be proved by taking the transaction. You may try some more examples from the textbook. Okay, with this I will conclude my session. Thank you.